Cricut Joy insert cards are a fun, quick, and cute way to let others know that you are thinking about them. But what if you don't have a Cricut Joy? Can you still use these insert card projects that have already been designed? Yes. There are a lot of ones that are included in Cricut Access and normally at least a few that are part of the free images. How do you do the cards on other machines? What do you need? I'm Ruth with Hank's Maker Mentor, and I'll show you your first step is to start a new project. Go over here to Images on the left and click on that. And then here in the search bar, you'll type Insert Card. You can select whichever filters you want. I'm going to make sure I use the free cards. Cricut Joy cards come in 3 different sizes. The standard size is 4¼ inches by 5½ inches. That is commonly called an A2 card. We'll cover why this is so great later, so stick around for that. They also have their small insert card, which is a 3.5 by 4.9 inch, and their large one at 4.5 by 6.25. The small one is commonly called an A1 or a 4-bar. The large one is commonly called an A6. When you're searching for your design using either a Maker 3, Explore 3, or Explore series, you'll need to make sure you choose the right size here as you're selecting your design. A lot of them they do have in the multiple sizes. When I click on the 3 dots up here on the right, it says Tools Card A1. This one is the Tools Card A6. Another way to figure out what size they are is you can hover over it and it will bring up this text box. This one says Pumpkin Card A6. Once you found the design you want to do, you'll go ahead and add it to the canvas. If you're using the Joy and you're happy with the design, you can send it to your machine right now. If you're using one of the other machines, we still have a few steps. I'm going to walk you through this doing an A2 card with the cardstock I already have. The same steps will apply to the A1 and the A6 sizes. You'll just need to adjust the sizes of your material based off of what finished size you want. I've added 2 different designs to my screen so I can show you differences in placement when we get to that point. For now, we're just going to work with the Get Well design, and I'm going to hide the other one. You're going to want to come into Shapes, and you're going to insert 2 squares and a score line. We're going to start with this one. We're going to unlock it so we can change the proportions. This first one is going to be the main portion of the card, 8½ inches wide and 5½ inches high. Your second square you will want to have unlocked as well, and you'll want to make sure you change it to 4 inches wide by 5¼ inches high. Change the color of this one to match your insert. I don't know what colors I'm using yet, so I'm just going to make up colors. I changed my score line to be somewhere between 5½ and 5.75. You'll take your score line and your larger rectangle. You'll select both of them. You'll click on Align and you'll center them. This will make sure that your score line is in the middle of your card and goes top to bottom. Then you'll attach those. Next, we'll place the design. You determine the location and if you need to mirror the design based off of a few different things. Insert cards can be cut-only files or they can also have writing. If it's a cut-only file, you'll want to place it here on the front. And you can kind of place it, and then I go in and I just align it vertically just to make sure it's in the center there. You can then attach it, and this is ready to go. This thank you card has the insert card slots and the thank you text cut out while the heartbeat and the emergency symbols are drawn. You will need to make sure that this one is placed here on the right-hand side of your paper. If you're doing a card that is cut only, but you would like to write on the inside of the card, you can do that by selecting your cut only file, selecting flip it horizontally, and then you'll put it over here and you can insert your text. Once you have your text typed in, you'll change your operation to draw, and it defaults to the 0.4 black pen. You can change it to whatever color. Most fonts will do this bubble letter. If you don't want that, you'll want to choose a font that says writing. Those are Cricut only fonts Except for Cricut Sans, it does have a free writing font available. Most of the other ones you will have to pay, or you can find fonts that are thin that look like one line. Once you've checked to make sure that you've got your score as a score line and your other things are set to cut or draw as applicable, you will attach them. I've adjusted my colors to reflect approximately what I'm going to be using. We've got everything attached the way it needs to, so I'm going to go ahead and click Make It. The preview here will show you where they will cut. You want to make sure that you have material in those places. If you're using an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper to cut this size, I recommend moving it so the corner is at the 1-1 line, so that way you can place your paper accordingly and it will cut where it needs to. The Cricut can't cut here at these borders, so you want to make sure that your entire design is where it is able to cut. The easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is to use 12 by 12 paper for the outside card and then either 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 for the insert.
Let's go over what supplies are helpful to have. Since I'm doing an insert and the outer card, I have 2 mats. You can do it with 1 mat. I just like to have them set up on different mats so it goes a little bit quicker. I have my Wilton cake spatula that I use for lifting the design off while preventing curling. This is my little red scraper. You can also use a Cricut scraper, but this will help to remove all of the leftover pieces from your mat. If you're writing, you'll need pens. You can either use Cricut pens or use other pens with adapters. I like having my stab and grab tweezers to remove bits of paper that get stuck. You'll need some way to score it. If you have the Maker or the Maker 3, you can use the scoring wheel. If you don't have the adaptive tool system, or if you have Explore 3 or one of the other Explore series machines, you can use the Cricut scoring stylus. You'll also need your fine point blade. Follow your on-screen instructions to run it through your Cricut. When I'm just doing a straight cut to remove my paper from the mat, I just flip it over and pull the mat away carefully. For the insert cards, because there's so many tiny pieces that can get stuck, I generally flip it over and pull the main piece of paper away. I will do a combination of pulling the mat away from it and then using my spatula to lift up the rest. You want to make sure you go slow so you don't catch anything that should still stay connected. And then this is where my little red scraper or your Cricut scraper come in handy to just scoop all of this off instead of trying to pick it off individually. Then you'll want to look and see where you've got pieces left over. This is where I like to use my stab and grab tweezers just so I can kind of get in and make sure I poke or pull all of those out. Sometimes they haven't cut through quite all the way, so if you turn them over, you'll see that they're still sticking there and that you do need to give them a little bit of a pull to separate them. Now you'll want to fold your card. The score line gave us a clean place to fold it along, so you just want to make sure you go slow so that it's going along that line. This is another time that a scraper tool of some sort comes in handy. I found that it's easier if I do the insert on the corners here next to the fold and then move to the outer ones. If your insert has 2 sides, like this one has shimmer on one side, you want to make sure that is the side facing up. You'll just put it in one, kind of give it a bit of a bend to get it into the other, and then repeat the same step on the other corners. You can make an envelope for these cards, but the great thing about the A2 card size is since it is so common, you can find variety packs, solid color packs online and in different stores. I'm linking some of the options down below in the description. Most everything I include as links I have personally used. There are some things that I am just not able to test individually, so I am going off of reviews. You have an adorable card ready to send that has personality but no glue, so you don't have to worry about getting glue stuck everywhere and waiting for it to dry.
If you want to see more videos about creating insert cards, let me know in the comments which of these would help you the most. Editing Cricut cards, creating your own designs from scratch, importing designs from other places, or using other pre-cut cards. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye.